Russell Crowe rides around a city exorcising demons in a moped. Hey guys, welcome back to the video. I just got up watching The Pope's Exorcist, and in this video I'm going to be giving you guys all of my spoiler-free thoughts. This movie is about a pope who's an exorcist and basically just has to take a demon out of a boy's body. It's as simple as that, but this movie does so much, and honestly, it completely surprised me. We get so many of these exorcist movies. I'm pretty sure we just get like 2 or 3 a year at this point, and this one really stood out to me. I absolutely enjoyed the hell out of it, and my theater was also just having an amazing time. People were laughing, giggling, screaming. It was so much fun. Before we get into my thoughts on The Pope's Exorcist, if you've seen or want to check out this movie, let me know what you think of it in the comments down below. Both wasting any more time, let's get right into it. I want to start off with the basic element that in my opinion makes or breaks a horror movie, and that is the acting. Overall, it is very, very, very well done, but there is one slightly mediocre performance. I don't want to solo out the actor or actress, so I'm just not going to say it because everyone did a fine job at the baseline, but this one person was just a little bit below the bar, and I think it was just because they were dealt a hand in the story that wasn't really interesting enough. But Russell Crowe, he is so great. There are a bunch of different sequences where he gets to show his range of acting, whether it be humorous or very, very serious, very depressing, him being taken over by a demon. There are so many things in this movie that allow Russell Crowe to show his range of acting, and he does just that. The assistant pope to Russell Crowe's character is also really great, a very interesting character that actually has a lot of great developments over the entire movie. At first, when he's introduced, he's a very one-note character, and I was kind of just annoyed by his presence, but as the movie went on, you learn a lot about his character's backstory, and I'll go into the story and lore in this movie later on in this video because it is absolutely insane how in-depth, in detail they go into a backstory. Before that assistant pope's character, they do such an amazing job from just being another side character. They have great links to the lore overall and Russell Crowe's character. They both don't share the same exact trauma per se, but they do have a lot of similarities in the way that they confess their sins, and then that's obviously taken advantage by the devil. But I want to backtrack a little bit to what I said before about Russell Crowe, because this man is hilarious, and this is one of the funniest movies of this year, and I don't know if it's a good thing. It's the Pope's Exorcist movie, so maybe it's not supposed to be funny, but it seems like they were just fully diving into it, and that's honestly the main reason I'm making this video, is because I don't have some insane take on this movie, but it's just really surprisingly good. And the main reason for that is because it is hilarious. They know it's a serious topic. They know like they can really just dive into horror elements and take themselves way too seriously, but they don't. They throw in the humor. They know where to lighten the mood, and they do it in the perfect way so where it doesn't take away a single bit of tension. There's a bunch of scenes in this movie where Russell Crowe's character does something super serious, something super dark, relating with the devil, and it's like mind-blowingly dark and depressing stuff. And then he's riding around the city in a moped. It is so funny at times, but it also knows when to tone it back. A lot of the comedy didn't necessarily feel like it was written into the script. It felt like improvisation, but it was also always at the perfect time, so I feel like it had to be written into the script. But I think that just goes into Russell Crowe's ability to fully immerse himself into this Pope character, but then also know how to take a step back and kind of leave some room for the humor, but in a good way that doesn't take away from anything else. There were some parts where a lot of the theater was laughing, and I don't think they were supposed to be laughing, but I think the filmmakers knew that, okay, this is very, very serious, so we're going to throw in just a little tiny funny bit of dialogue here, and that'll just loosen the entire mood, but it won't completely take away from the overall horror elements. I don't know how to describe it properly. You have to watch it for yourself, but it's very well paced throughout. Most of this movie is about the little boy being taken over by the demon, and that is hilarious. There are so many funny lines. There's one where I actually don't know if I should say it on here. I'm just gonna let you guys figure it out in the movie, but it involves him and his mom, and he talks about when he was little. I'm not gonna say it. You guys can watch this movie. I'm not gonna lie, that made the entire theater burst out laughing, and it was meant to be a funny scene, I think, but they knew that, okay, this little boy is possessed and he does something stupid, obviously we're gonna laugh, so they just dive into that and make him say a bunch of stupid funny things, but it works. It is also just so gory. Like, there is so much blood, eye rolling. Like, there's one amazing shot where where they basically split, where Russell Crowe's character is saying a prayer and the demon in the boy's eye split. Within the eye, you see two different pupils on a close-up of the eye, and it is amazing. It's so brutal. It's disgusting, but it's the perfect amount of gore. And this movie talks about a lot of serious trauma, especially with Russell Crowe's character and the assistant pope. They do a lot of diving into their past, and this connects with the lore. Russell Crowe's character, Gabriel, has this haunting sin that basically comes back in his mind a bunch of times throughout this movie. And the end of this movie, I won't lie, does get a little bit into the CGI fest realm, at least compared to what the rest of the movie is, but I think it works. I think they explored the lore enough for me to actually be okay with them upping the stakes and going kind of fantastical to an extent. At least on a visual level, they go to a fantastical side, especially compared to what they were going for before in the movie. And I know you are not expecting me to talk about this in the video, but the action, okay, there's this one insane handheld demon shot where this girl is in a closet, and it's like a John Wick handheld style where the girl's getting like thrown around and they zoom out of the closet, and then Gabriel does some like banishes the demon, and then the camera just zooms around him, and then the girl comes out of the It's so well done. It genuinely reminded me of that John Wick handheld style of action, and it's a pope casting a prayer on a demon to get rid of him. Like, that is so cool. It is just classic possessed horror to an extent, but they do a great job of just implementing these very, very tiny modern elements. Again, it's nothing super duper unique. That one sequence, it's very short, but it really just, it was such a good time in the theater because they have these great buildups to very minimal action sequences, but the action sequences are always cutting back and forth, back and forth. And the final thing I want to talk about in regards to the Pope's Exorcist is the lore and the story that this movie really dives into. From the opening scene, it is a very brutal movie, and you get that vibe right away. And I'm not very well educated on all of this story, all the lore, the stuff that they're talking about in this film. I don't know a lot about it, but I never really felt like I was behind. And I feel like a lot of people that are already informed on this stuff might be pissed that it's always just feels like exposition, exposition, exposition. But for me personally, I like that they went all lore heavy in that final act, and they really just went all in. I don't want to talk too much about it because I feel like I'm going to spoil it. But again, like I said in the beginning of this video, they go very fantastical with it, and they do an amazing job of just slowly throughout this movie uncovering what I would just call them like devilish links to the church, and it's just very well done. Again, I don't have some insane take on this movie. This video wasn't a rant on how this movie sucked, but I was just very much surprised by how awesome this movie was. Even if it was stupid sometimes, it was fun. I really enjoyed my time with it, and maybe I just went in with dirt low expectations, and that's why I'm coming out so happy, but I really enjoyed this one. Overall, I'm going to give The Pope's Exorcist a 7.5 out of 10. As always, if you've seen or want to check out this movie, let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.